break the law? Sure thing, boss. Sign here, please. Longtime stalker. First-time poster. Only doing this now because it finally came to fruition last week. I used to work as a spare parts estimator for a fairly niche industry. My job was essentially to work out what parts of our main product the customer wanted, find out how much it would cost us to make, add a little markup and send them a quote. My boss was pretty strict on traceability, so everything needed to be recorded, including why a certain markup had been applied to a particular product. Normal value of these quotes is somewhere between £200 and a few $100,000. Very rarely do we get orders for anything more than that. Once or twice a decade in my experience. A request for quotation landed on my desk when I was WFH during COVID. And it was a biggie. Just looking at the list of parts the customer wanted, this was going to be an absolute killer. Over £1 million all by itself. I was told by the sales guy that if this one went well, there was another to follow of an even bigger size. Ultimately looking at 10 million over the next 4 years. So I set to work. Normally I can do 5 or 6 of these quotes in a day. But this one quote took me 6 weeks to put together. I was in constant contact with 20+ vendors getting specifications, technical details, prices and lead times for over 400 items. Finally, my masterpiece was complete. Then came the snag. Sales guy then says that because of the country this customer is in, they need to have 4 or more quotes in from different customers in order to get it cleared by their government. Some anti-corruption policy that had been instituted. We were the OEM of the product and there's nowhere else on the planet they could get these parts from. So we'd have to work through third parties to get it done. And he knew just the guy. In comes a one-man band with a dodgy-looking entry at company's house to save the day. Sales guy and him go way back. So he was going to be the preferential supplier. I was asked to do the normal quote to him, then to bump the prices up by 30% and send that to 3 other companies who had been asking about it, so they would absolutely not get the contract with the end user. I argued the point, saying that the whole purpose of the anti-corruption policy is to prevent situations exactly like this. But I was overruled. The COO of the company now tells me to just do it over a phone call. At which point I request that in writing before I go ahead and do it. Fast forward 2 years and there's still no order been placed. Then I find out through a different sales guy that the one-man band has been put on a blacklist by this country's government over this project. The other 3 companies have been turned down. And the end user is asking other companies to come in and take our product out and replace it with their own. A huge investigation is called for by senior management. My quote is ripped to pieces and examined in microscopic detail. And the question gets asked, why did you give different prices to these other 3 when you knew it was all to do with anti-corruption? We should fire you. That's millions of pounds of order you've lost us. Out comes the email from my little black book. On the desk it goes. Everyone suddenly gets very quiet. And the COO starts packing his desk in a box the next week. And the moral of the story is, if someone tells you to do something borderline illegal, make sure to get it in writing. When will managers learn that if they are asked to put it in writing, they need to step back and rethink the whole idea? There are fewer phrases more threatening in the English language than, "Can I get that in writing?" Quote, it's equivalent of a shotgun being racked. Fucked around and found out. I once typed an email outlining the impact of delaying paying a vendor for preventative maintenance on a machine they ran for us. Not doing the maintenance could result in the machine crashing and being down some time for repairs. I printed it and added a handwritten note. I will take the action but will not be responsible for the consequences. Please sign below acknowledging that you accept the consequences of delaying this maintenance. I placed this on my colleague's desk. A few minutes after he returned to his desk, he approved the money for the maintenance. A tale as told as time. Also, thank you for not posting till the fallout happened. Even despite being a reel, there's too many stories where people are posting with no fallout and they say they'll repost once they find out what happened. Perfect. There's even comeuppance for the ones that made the decision. I feel like I should have a cigarette now. And I don't even smoke. Cover your ass at all times. Demand everything in writing and make copies. Commandment 4 of the 10 commandments. If you think it's going to be a disaster, get it in writing. Cover your ass. Well played by you, sir. Edit. The # bolds everything? I had no idea, so I took it out. I thought this was going to be something way different when it started with "longtime stalker." I just love it when those meetings get real quiet. Extra points for keeping that email for 2 years. Well done. Why do they need you to send costs plus 30%? Couldn't they just send your estimate plus 30% and keep you out of the loop? Perfection. Absolute perfection. I would just like to point out to everyone that you waited 2 years to give us this malicious compliance story. Truly a golden effort. Well played, op. Well played. This makes up for all of the posts where they couldn't wait 1 week for fallout before posting. Gold star. With something this far out, I'd be worried that I got the appropriate CTA email about it, but it was auto-deleted after X years by the company's deletion policy. Some vendor reps had come in for meetings and took the managers to lunch. While they were out, I had some geniuses ask me if I could hack into their laptops to find out how much margin was available on a quote so they could try to get the cost reduced. Told them it wasn't possible without it being obvious. Plus, you know, illegal. Got laid off not long after. What are the letters under each post for? I cannot figure it out.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.